Welcome to the video game industry news chat and react show with Flux Reversal, my weekly Saturday show, podcast, talk show, whatever, where I talk about the video gaming industry news that had occurred over the past week from Monday until Friday. I talk about it from a PC gamer's perspective, a customer's perspective, and for perspective of getting information out there because a lot of this news isn't mainstream news. You're not going to hear about it on mainstream gaming, on mainstream networks, unless you follow specific networks or channels or resources. Like there are some very specific gaming genre news outlets out there, and there's some broader outlets that do all kinds of news, but they highlight some gaming stuff too. It is my job and my endeavor to bring you this news in a condensed format so you don't have to keep up with it yourself. So you can just go about your week, blah, 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 and then you can stop by and watch Flux Reversal's Saturday live stream. But it's hard to tell what time during the day Saturdays I go live. So that's why I always edit a video and post it to YouTube. And it has chapter markers with all the topics I talk about, so you can skip around for something that you like. And as I said, I've been doing the video game industry news show for a while in different iterations for many, many years. And it has evolved into what you see now. And I do it live on stream because I want people to take part in the show. I want people to express opinions, point things out to me, or even tell me I'm wrong or they disagree with me, or why my opinion may be wrong. And while I'm a surly person, and if you know me, you probably heard me talk shit and stuff in games to people, but I'm pretty open-minded when it comes about, stuff like this. And you can get as surly with me as you want. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And so that's why I do my show live. I'm hoping to get through it pretty fast today. So where do I get my news from? As I said, I have my own personal news feed, and it's from various news outlets around the internet, and they are simply just articles. And I'm just one person. I can't stay on top of every news outlet. I can't stay on top of every independent developer and publisher and creator to keep up with all these news. And so I rely upon the articles of established people who I've vetted and who are reputable in the industry. That's where my news comes from. So I'm going to show you articles, and I react to the articles, and I show you where the articles come from and who writes the articles. It's not like I'm taking credit for any of this. And a lot of times the good thing about articles is they shine light on a perspective of a release that maybe I didn't consider, or they have an opinion, and it helps me have a better show because I can say I agree or disagree, or okay, now I understand whatever it is, because sometimes some straight news reports from outlets, like you'll hear like so-and-so issued a statement today, blah, 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 and it's just that statement, and you got to have someone else probably break it down and is more familiar with the history. And good thing for you, I've been following video game industry news and these institutions for a long time, so I'm pretty well versed on recent, modern, even old history on all these publishers and developers and game makers. I've been doing this so long. So yeah, that's where the news comes from, and we're going to get into it right away. Nintendo's monster catching patent rejected over Pokemon fan game.
Bruh.
What? Okay. Nintendo's monster catching patent rejected over. So if you follow Nintendo's, ever since Power World came out, they have been hot on the heels in the courts and here with the patent and copyright office to issue patents over these monster catching mechanics that their game is famous for. This particular article right here from Game Rant by Dominique Bojnak talks about how this rejection over this particular mechanic states, and it refers, okay, here's what's fucked up. The reasoning they stated while, let me articulate this. The reason they stated the patent was rejected was because the mechanic already existed in another game. And the game that they pointed to was a game that was a fan game of Pokemon, but was a blatant IP violation and ripoff. It wasn't an authorized game. So the Patent and Copyright Office rejected their patent over this monster catching mechanic because some other person came up with the mechanic in their fan game, their fan version of the game, before they even thought about it. Did you follow me? You follow
Hold
me?
on. I said, hold up. No. Wait a minute.
Listen. Yeah, no, it's funny. Their patent got rejected because someone already thought up the mechanic in a game that was a blatant violation and ripoff of one of their earlier games. Nintendo just can't catch a break, bro. Literally. Can you imagine having a product and someone rips you off and then you go to file a patent and they're like, no, that already exists in this game that ripped you off. And they're like, no! Well, how does that fucking work, bro? It's like, what are you going to do? You take the patent office to court about? How does that work? I'm sipping my tea. Keep my, more news. Also, this week and a little bit last week, Nintendo files motion to dismiss consumer lawsuit over tariff refunds. If a consumer did not want to pay the advertised price, they were free to abstain from purchasing the products or seek out competing products. So this article from GameIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, and of course Game Rant again. GameIndustry.biz, my favorite. I already knew what was going on. I've been following this issue. And if anybody remembers the Donald Trump tariffs that were placed on everybody around the world about imports, apparently with those tariffs, Nintendo increased the price of their Switch 2 by $50. And people weren't happy about the $50 price increase to the Switch. And Nintendo said, hey, this is in direct response. This is in direct response to the tariff increases. So, after all that got resolved, Nintendo took the government to court to get refunded for these tariffs they had to pay. And they won that battle, and they got that money. Now customers are saying, okay, Nintendo, you got your money. We need our money back. And Nintendo's like, no, too bad. Too bad. Motherfucking donkeys. These greedy fucking donkeys, man. These greedy fucking donkeys are like, too bad. Yeah, we got our money back, but wait a minute. You agreed to that price, so you had to pay for it. If you didn't like the price, don't pay for it. Look at these fucking bitches. They sued the government to get their money back for the tariffs, but when people went to go do it to them, I mean, it's like the United States government's like, no, that was the agreed upon price. That was the price you agreed upon. If you didn't like it, don't buy it. They could have used the exact same fucking rhetoric, but yeah. See what kind of piece of shit fucking Nintendo is about this shit, man? And why would you give this company your money? Why would you buy anything made by Nintendo? Why would you buy a Switch or any Switch games, period? Knowing that this is how I feel about you as a customer. They went through the time to tell... They took the time to tell you that the price increase was due to the tariffs. And now they're here saying that they got their refunds for the tariff, but they're not going to pass the refund on to you, the customer, because they're a piece of shit, greedy fucking corporation, bro. Yeah. What? Come on, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what's going on with Nintendo. Moving right along in the news. Xbox, oh my God. Oh my God. So much stuff about Xbox. There are so many different things to talk about Xbox this week. Just individual things on their own merit. And we're going to get into it now. We know Xbox, Microsoft has been in the limelight several months now. They've been doing these changes. They announced them last year, and going into the new year, the new fiscal year, Asha Sharma started making changes. What sense can we make of the madness at ID Software? This is a really good article, and really it's too much to get into, but it's from Eurogamer. If you're interested and you want to see this article yourself, let me know and I'll link it in chat. But this was a very, very good read. It basically breaks down. It's Eurogamer by Rick Lane, one of their journalists, and it thoroughly breaks down and the whole debacle of all the affected studios and the closures and like the history in the back and like how some of these studios came to become under Microsoft and the Xbox's umbrella. And it's a really, really good read. It's like a little historical account of everything up to now and what's led to now. And if you don't understand it, go read it. But it's really too much of an in-depth deep dive to talk about now. But we will talk about some of it because we have an article here from GameIndustry.biz and others that kind of allude to the overall story that we're already familiar with. All right, so let's talk about some of these other things. Despite Xbox console sales doubling year-on-year hardware sales across the U.S., Despite Xbox console sales doubling year-on-year, hardware sales across the U.S. are down 62%, U.S. monthly charts say. Of all the platforms, Xbox is the only one to have just grown year by year. Oh, Xbox Live is down. I think it's back up, though. That was yesterday. Xbox Live was down, and we'll talk about that in a second. So these two articles, what they're pointing out is how is Xbox doubling its year-on-year hardware sales when everybody else is down? And they're like, well, you got to look back. Microsoft was down. Microsoft had been losing money consistently, and this is their first time to make money. That's why. It's not like they're actually been making money. They just now finally made a little bit of money with Asha Sharma in charge, according to the numbers. So this is a misleading headline because, like I said, Microsoft Xbox console sales double year-on-year sales, and it doubled. I mean, it's like doubling. We sold 2, that doubled 2, now they got 4, you know. So Xbox Live is down, and why this was big, it's not rare for platforms to go down or partially go down and come back up. But apparently when Xbox services went down, all their services went down. And this article on Game Rant by Pam Ferdinand specifically talks about all Xbox services were down. All of them. Fucking all the shit was down. So something, either they were transferring something, someone fucked it up, they were reinstalling something, I don't know, but it was down for a substantial amount of time before it came back up. Halo campaign evolved launches to mixed Steam reviews thanks to server login issue in a single-player game after charging $70 for early access. That's right. They allowed early access for $70 if they get in and play the new re-released Halo campaign. Not PvP, it's just single player. Yeah. And they, of course, in their statements and their stance to do console exclusive, they released it on Steam because they need that money. Yeah, Steam reviews tanks server log. Yeah. Were you blinded by its majesty? Yes, the game just cut out. But the game just came out, but it shouldn't be a trend for a game to always come out severely broken. Call me a boomer, but I miss when games came out in a playable state without patches needed. Still, some other fans took issue with the fact that Halo Campaign Evolved requires a login and a connection at all. The game is playable start to finish and online co-op, but there's no real reason why Spartans who prefer to go in solo should have to connect their Microsoft accounts. Yeah, Microsoft making you connect your accounts. What else? What else? What else? More Microsoft Xbox news from GameIndustry.biz and Game Radar. The same story. AlphaDog Games founders reacquire studio from Microsoft following 2024 closures. We're grateful to Microsoft for working with us through the transition and enable us to reacquire our company, basically. This whole part about AlphaDog ties into this other article right here. This big one I said. And it talks about how AlphaDog was one of the many companies that was acquired when companies were out just gobbling up indies in the wake of the Embracer FOMO. It's a whole nother story. If you want to hear me talk about it, it'll be a rant and I'll get upset about it. I've said it many times, the debacle that Embracer caused. So another former Xbox studio is independently owned again. So yeah, long story short, these guys were shut down by Xbox and Microsoft during one of its purges. All right. And through the past months, knowing that Microsoft and Xbox were consolidating and cleaning house and they had this huge purge going on, AlphaDog made the move. They're like, hey, we want our product back. What do we got to do? And so it sounds like AlphaDog got a deal. They got a deal to get their own stuff that was originally theirs back. And so that's good news. So not all bad things are coming from this Xbox Microsoft purge led by Asha Sharma. But there's a lot of people that lost their jobs still, despite some good news coming out of it, which isn't much. Like this story right here. One of the companies under Xbox is Bethesda. If you didn't know, Bethesda is owned by Microsoft Xbox. And this particular, their Montreal office in Canada, this GameIndustry.biz talks about it a couple times. Union slams Microsoft for unfair labor practices, alleging Xbox unlawfully laid off staff. Xbox says, we respect our employees' right to make their voices heard. Like, what? Come on, man. Come on, man. Union accuses Bethesda of violating labor laws in Canada. The smallest severance, yeah. And the union says they get the smallest severance pay possible. Yeah, so they're taking them to court. They're taking them to court. And because of the laws in Canada, they have ground. They have ample ground to pursue this fight. They wouldn't pursue in this fight if they didn't know. So congratulations. You guys go get your money. Go get what you deserve. Seriously. Yeah. They're a part of a union, and basically Xbox just totally ignored the rules that they were supposed to follow that was part of the union contract. But Microsoft, Xbox, they just don't fucking care, bro. They don't care if you're in a goddamn union. They don't care about your fucking union. They're too big to fucking care. They don't have to give you money. Yeah, take us to court. Bro, drag that shit out. We got other things to worry about. And that's how these fucking donkeys operate, man. That's how these fucking donkeys operate. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Even a union, being in a union is not helping these people. Remember I said some good stories? We've got... This is a good story. And maybe... It's good and it's sad. It's sad that this issue existed for as long as it did. And it's sad that it's just now taken this long to get the issue addressed. Xbox pledges to help anyone who's lost their account to hackers as quickly as possible after one fan's viral video went viral about it. The internet went crazy about it. So apparently there's been a huge problem with Xbox accounts when they get stolen. and then you report, hey, my account got stolen. All they do is just lock the account and shut it down, and they don't let anybody access it. That you can't get it back. Well, this particular user is also he's a content creator, like has a small community around him, like nothing really huge or like. I never heard of him. You probably never heard of him either, but his community was large enough to fucking rally behind it, and I think we went to social media and Reddit is where it caught a lot of traction. But yeah, and after that, after all this fucking heat, because of all the heat Xbox and Microsoft has taken, they're like, oh shit, we're going to make sure you get your account back. But not only that, we're going to finally respond to this backlog of years of emails from our customers. Apparently, there was someone wasn't doing their job. One hand wasn't washing another. Something was overlooked, and these people's issues were not being taken care of. Well, Asha Sharma is like, well, we're going to make sure you motherfuckers get your accounts back. Because if you customers want your Xbox accounts back and your Xbox customers, I'm going to make sure you get your accounts back because we need your money. So that's the only reason why they fucking do it, bro. I'm just like, come on.
Bruh.
Yeah. If you cared about making money in the first place, this would have been one of the first things you did is take care of your customers. The people who you get your money from. Fuck's sake, Xbox. And this is, a lot of this was under Phil Spencer, who I wasn't. Yeah. Oh, boom. Someone else leaves. Another exec leaves. Xbox loses new exec. Xbox loses new exec that Asha Sharma appointed herself. So when Asha Sharma became Xbox CEO, if you know about her, she has a strong background in AI, and she led Microsoft's AI division. And while she was lead of that division, she had a VP. And when she came over to become the Microsoft head CEO, she brought this guy who was her VP, brought him over. Well, he's an AI dude. He's not a gaming dude, right? He's an AI dude, and so he hasn't been in this position more than like 3 or 4 months, and now he's leaving. He's basically going to another company that does AI. He's an AI dude. So yeah, articles by Game Rant, Game Radar, and Eurogamer. So that's what this article about. That was big enough because this is one of the people who she brought over recently, and there was a lot of people who came over like in January, February who are now gone. Yeah. So Xbox all over the place this past week. Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass was a good idea in theory, says former Forza Horizon 5 director, but the reality is not enough. Not people have subscribed. Many Xbox studio leads absolutely detested Game Pass. The concept of Xbox Game Pass was good despite its eventual faceplant, now contributing to Master. Yeah, so it wasn't a good idea. So having a monthly subscription to a slew of games that you can play at your choice and not have to buy the game, that's a good idea. That's a really, really good idea. It's a really good business model, I think. EA done it for a while. I don't know how successful they are, and I think it's a good idea. Netflix is doing it right now. But what all of these different game designers and leads who are under the Microsoft Xbox umbrellas, many of them part of indie developers who got absorbed back the post-COVID crap, or during COVID, post-COVID also. So a lot of it was going on. All these small companies getting gobbled up by these corporations. Yeah, and Phil Spencer, he's not a smart CEO. That's what happened. He's just one of the many CEOs that did this and created this problem. But all the developers are saying that's like, you should have done it on brand new games. And that was supposed to be one of the selling points of the Xbox Game Pass. Get day one access to brand new games for only, this small monthly subscription, which is a fraction of the price of the game itself. And that hurt them. I mean, they're all, and I agree too, they're saying, if you want access to the brand new game, pay full price for the brand new game. We can understand you having a library of older games that aren't brand new that you're trying to get some attention to. If we understand having those games on Xbox Game Pass. And we can also understand making the game eventually on Game Pass after it's been out for a while. Maybe let it be out for 6 months or a year before you put it on Game Pass. Let it generate some revenue from its, its sell price. So from a business perspective, I can understand that, but I'm also not a big fan of paying full price for games these days either. So I'm on board with all these developers' opinions about it. Phil Spencer made a bad move. He's the one that implemented all that, man. You got to be smart to make money. You ain't going to be smart to be a CEO. You ain't going to be smart to be a CEO. Still talking about Xbox. This from IGN. Microsoft announces Xbox backward compatibility on PC with new features and achievements. That's right. Apparently, you can play a slew of old games and have them ported, formerly only available on consoles, are now ported to PC. So that's another good news at Xbox. They're pulling out all the stops trying to get customers and keep customers and gain new customers, get eyes on them. So backward compatibility port for earlier console releases now available for PC. And Xbox getting on the ads. A lot of companies are doing this, placing in-game ads. We heard the CEO for Electronic Arts talk about, all companies should be doing this. You all should be placing ads in game. And if you ever played a game that has like Rust, I'm a big Rust fan. It has billboards, but they're all like billboards with lore, and they can easily switch those billboards around to be real ad placement. I've been doing closed tests for Engine Fall, and it looks like they're going to have in-game ads. That's fine. I don't care. Just as long as it doesn't interfere with the gameplay. Just as long as it's looks like it's part of the scenery and part of the game. And so Microsoft launches tests for ad-supported Xbox game streaming. Promises the ads will not interrupt the flow of the gameplay. They're not doing exactly like I was just talking about. And they're only tested on the Insider program. So anybody who's a part of the Xbox Insider program, meaning the members who opt in for the tested beta version, they're the only ones who are having to tolerate it right now as they test this out. We'll see how it goes as Xbox struggles to make money. Also this week in news, if you've been following it, GameIndustry.biz and IGN reporting on Judge Halt's Paramount and Warner Brothers merger for 2 weeks as a review and investigation goes in. Now, everybody doesn't know, Warner Brothers and Paramount are the largest, oldest media companies in the world, pretty much. In the world. And they basically control Hollywood. I mean, one of them has already, I think Paramount has already been absorbed. Someone else, like Sundance or something. I don't know. Skydance. Yeah, Skydance. Yeah, it says right there. Skydance Corporation. Anyways, either or. And so 22 states from the United States have signed a petition against this, calling for a review, saying this is going to create the largest media company in history, and it's going to be basically a monopoly. And by doing so, the prices of movies and media across the board will go up. And you know what? I think, here's my opinion. Paramount and Warner Brothers are definitely large, huge media conglomerates, but they're old companies. These are old school companies. They still got their foot in the past, and they're struggling to adapt to the future. This is apparent by Warner Brothers getting involved in the gaming industry and becoming a publisher for video games, having some of their own video games and going out and acquiring indie studios themselves. Warner Brothers does that, and they do that because not as many people are going to movie theaters anymore. With the digital age, live streaming your movies, just wait for it to go live, Netflix. Movies don't even stay in theaters long anymore. It's like, it'll be in the theaters for a month before it goes live on your streaming platform. And this is basically killing the theater industry. It's really hurting the theater industry. And it's sad. it's sad that these theaters are struggling and looking to pay their bills, and that's as they increase their prices. And I live down the street from a huge fucking movie theater. It's a large theater, and it's parking lot never looks like it used to at all. And so I don't think that these two companies merging is that big of a deal. I don't think they may control the walk-in theater experience, and those prices are going to go up anyways because they're struggling to stay in business. So regarding movie prices, when you go live into movies, yeah. But there are more companies out there that make movies than Paramount and Warner Brothers. There you got all kinds of studios and indies and platforms. Netflix, yeah, man. Netflix is a great example. They have nothing to do with Warner Brothers or Paramount. HBO makes their own stuff. So there's a lot of competition out there for these companies, and these companies are struggling. Now, Netflix originally, when this is the Paramount. Paramount is the one talking about going for sale, and originally Netflix was like, "We want to buy you." Netflix put a big, huge bid, and right after that bid, Warner Brothers came out with a big, even larger bid, like by $10 million more. And so Paramount's like, all right. So with the sale progressing, it looks like, a halt has been placed because of these people's fears. And I don't think it's really a good, accurate, these people are just knee-jerk. Like, they're not looking at the fact that these companies are struggling. They're struggling to keep their head above water. The in-person walk into movie theater industry is not like it used to be. It's a glimmer of what it used to be. So I don't see no reason why these companies shouldn't. There's no reasons why they shouldn't. I see no problem with it at all. I don't think the dissenters' points are valid at all. I don't think they're considering the things I just pointed out. So we'll see what happens. Electronic Arts. Oh my God, Electronic Arts in the news. Electronic Arts in the news. Talk about people buying out and selling out. Got a few different stories about Electronic Arts and their games. And if you were following the FIFA World Cup, here's a cute little story I thought was pretty cool. Maybe I'll start becoming a betting man. EA Sports FC Simulations correctly predicted the FIFA World Cup winner would be Spain, and it's not the first time this has happened. This is like the fifth time this has happened. This is the fifth year in a row that EA Sports FC Simulations accurately predicted. And they said it's just not one simulation. It's a lot of simulations. And the majority of the simulations, Spain won. It's like, what? Yeah.
Bruh.
So if you're a gambling man, you know what I'm saying? Next year. Yeah, this be 4 years for the next World Cup, man. And I think that's why, because the World Cup happens every 4 years, and they have so much data and information that go into these games. There's so much real-life statistics based upon the players themselves. So, yeah. Very, very interesting fact. EA Sports UFC 6 leads game sales for June, a month where spending fell 21%. Okay. Yep. That's the only article about it. There was another article about global sales somewhere else. Yeah, but apparently EA Sports killing it. Their UFC 6 leads game sales for the month of June. And you can look at the charts here. This is the top games sales for the month of June. And I'm going to stop real quick and say I used to have a list I referred to, and it was by Newzoo. It was a free list that I was able to access, and Newzoo has now restricted that list's access along with some other information that I would look at regularly. They have now put it behind their subscription tier. So now I got to rely on secondhand information. So this from Game Informer. Of course, their information is probably totally straight from Newzoo. Everybody uses Newzoo. EA Sports, UFC 6. Number 1, Mecha Chameleon. Hey, Mecha Chameleon. Not my kind of game, but yeah, it's killing it. We'll talk about it in a little bit. 007 First Light, Star Fox, Lego Batman, Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, Forza Horizon 6, MLB The Show, Minecraft, and NBA 2K26. Yeah, a lot of single-player games, some PvP games, the sports games, and talk about monopolies and people disputing takeovers. Here's one that's been approved. Saudi Arabia's $55 billion EA buyout approved by the European Commission, who say it doesn't raise competition concerns. Yeah. So we had a lot of people, this from, Rock, Paper, Shotgun, GameIndustry.biz, Game Radar, and Eurogamer, all talk about the same release statement. Literally, they're just doing quote from the release, from the same release. So if you were following the news, there was a lot of speculation of why the Saudi Arabian conglomerate wanted to buy Electronic Arts. Electronic Arts being severely in debt. If they acquired Electronic Arts, they would also have to acquire its enormous amount of debt that it has. And so there was like, why? Some speculation also talked about how maybe the Saudi Arabia market is looking to diversify its financial portfolio away from petroleum industrialization type of refining products. Also to maybe make them look better in the worldview. They're a gaming company. We make video games. We sell video games. You know what I'm saying? They clean up their image was another speculative thing they talked about when it first went down. And when everybody was like saying no, we don't, and this lawsuit was risen by the European Union, I didn't agree with it because it's not a merger. They're saying it's bad for the area and for the globe. I'm like, it's not how they try to say it's a monopoly, but not at all. Not at all. And there was nothing going into it, as the EU court says. There's nothing in this acquisition that's a monopoly. EA's acquisition, which also involves U.S. President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, if you didn't know, CEO of Affinity Partners, has been criticized by video game industry unions too. Okay. EA's acquisition was approved by stakeholders within the European Commission, now giving the thumbs up. It's likely no major national barriers to its completion, with no major national barriers to its completion remaining. Let me see. That's not the only reason the acquisition has approved. Saudi Arabia's ongoing financial hovering of video game developers, publishers, and gaming events has been criticized by human rights organizations based upon their behavior in other industries. The country's record of human rights abuses and the killings of journalists have provoked international outcry. You know what, guys? You can't go inside of a country and talk shit about the country while you're there. Especially a country who's notorious for cutting thieves' hands off and rapists' dicks off. All right? All right? That's your stupid-ass fucking fault. You think because you're an American, you're protected by whatever privilege. Yeah. If you come to my house talking shit, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face, too. That's how you got to look at it. So, yeah, there's nothing going on that violates anything that has to do with monopolies. It's just human rights organizations, you know, and that's why they're saying that they're looking to buy these companies to clean up their image, because they got all these human rights companies on their ass all the time. But hey, You're in your own market. You're in your own global. You're in your own regional market that you control to have a lot to do with. Yeah, good luck. Hasbro, man. Hasbro now looking good. GameIndustry.biz, Rock, Paper, Shotgun, Eurogamer, the normal suspect. After its Baldur's Gate 3 era splurge a couple years ago, Hasbro is scaling back its gaming ambitions following a $56 million loss. But Warlock and Mass Effect, like Exodus, are safe. What? Hasbro records $56 million write-down and cancels several games scheduled for 2028. Hasbro is down $56 million as its strategy of canceling almost everything surprisingly fails to yield games. Yeah. Hasbro's doing the same thing everybody else has been doing. They're basically shuttering and closing shit down and retreating back into known reputable IPs that are safe and that they think will make them money without a lot of gamblings. And I say gamblings without gambling on new endeavors, right? And everybody's doing this. And when they say a $56 million loss, they say they actually took it upon themselves. They went into their books and wrote it down themselves. They didn't have to get sued. Their accountants went to their books and they're like, yeah, we got to shut down this, this, and this. And because we're shutting this down, we're losing this investment. And so we got to write it off as a loss. So on books, they legally, and they did the right thing. They didn't try to cook their books or hide it. They put it there for the world to see. So, yeah, Hasbro, just like everybody else, made a lot of money with this Baldur's Gate 3. And, like everybody else, Ubisoft, everybody's backing up into their popular IPs, which isn't a cool thing to do. I mean, me as a customer, that tells you really don't care about me and giving me something new. You're just regurgitating, and rehashing shit that's not original, all for the sake of making some more fucking money off me. And I don't appreciate that. It's all to make money. It's just a big cash grab. Reissues of games, new editions coming out, resync versions, whatever, redone edition, evolve this. It's just a fucking cash grab. Always. All right, moving right on. Here's a company closing down. This is in France. Court orders Edge of Eternity developer Midgar Studios to liquidate after failing to secure buyers. So it was what isn't Midgar. If you were following the whole Nacon shutdown, Nacon did not receive the funding they needed. They're a French company, and in France, the courts get involved and they will order you to shut down. So they did that for Nacon, and all its subsidiaries are now slowly having the trickle-down negative effect. And Midgar Studio, the makers of Edge of Eternity, is feeling it now. They're forced to shut down because they can't receive any funding either. So, yeah, this is all just trickled down. One of the many companies that was affected by Nacon getting shut down, unfortunately. We got here. Oh, you guys want to hear talk about GTA 6? Boy, what's up? GTA 6, are you pumped? Fuck GTA 6. Rockstar Games Union. Straight from Games Radar, Eurogamer, and Rock, Paper, Shotgun. After claiming GTA 6 devs have crunch built into their contracts, Union says first meeting with Rockstar management was a step in the right direction. Yeah, right. Bruh. Whatever. As layoffs controversy continues, Rockstar Union has more members than ever before, meaning it could force mandatory recognition. Yay! Rockstar Games Workers Union says their first meeting with the GTA 6 Studios management was a step in the right direction. That's right. if you've been following the news or if you've been following Rockstar at all, Rockstar is a piece of shit fucking company. They have a long history of just being a piece of shit corporation. They are a publicly traded corporation. Their interests are not you as a gamer's interest. All they care about is making money off of you. And if you follow Rockstar's long history of shitty dealings and bad press and ignored it just to buy their games, then you are part of the problem too. You're a donkey right along with them, man. Don't buy their fucking shit. Don't buy their goddamn games. These motherfuckers snuck into the private Discord of some people trying to make a union and fired 30 of them who they can identify as employees. These people are trying to start a union because of how shitty their working conditions are. All right? And because of that, the union has picked up so much goddamn momentum. They've gained so many members that they will be forced to recognize the union. The law is in their favor in this region. That's right. So, GTA 6, the developers, Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive. Yeah, Rockstar is owned by Take-Two Interactive, all right? Not just Rockstar. Take-Two has a hand in them making their decisions, guys. It's just not Rockstar Games that's being shitty motherfuckers. Now, these are people who made your games. A lot of these people that got laid off are people who worked on GTA 6. They no longer have a job. Their families no longer have support. And they're trying to get those 30 people some justice after that happened. You know, the fact that the union is moving forward and then it's a real thing and it's got real sponsorship, and that Rockstar will and Tencent will be forced to deal with them. They either have to willingly do it or be forced to do it by the law. And it looks like right now they're willingly doing it. And yeah, GTA 6 is about to come out, motherfucker. You want this in the news? GTA 6 is about to drop, and you guys got this in the news. Bunch of fucking greedy-ass donkeys. Fucking greedy-ass goddamn donkeys. Shame on you. Fire, motherfuckers. Yeah. Well, crunch is built into the contract. They're supposed to work forever for $2. Yeah, fuck you greedy bitches. Florida man. Florida man. What? Florida man. I'm serious. The FBI has arrested a 21-year-old alleged to have stolen $220,000 through Steam using malware-ridden games. What? FBI accused Steam user of stealing over $220,000 of malware-infected games through malware-infected games. Blockblasters, Lunara, and Dashverse. Yes. Where's the picture? They show the picture of him, man. Where's the picture of him? Oh, they took the picture of him down. So he was a young black man with dreads, a good-looking dude. And they busted him through his Uber Eats account. He spent a lot of that stolen money was on Uber Eats, apparently. So that's how they eventually busted him. Yeah. So he had stolen $220,000 of Bitcoin using malware-ridden games. And Steam completely cooperated. Yeah. Any of you Bitcoin gamers, crypto gamers? I use a Web3 browser. This is Web3 browser. This is Brave, but I'm not a crypto guy. All right, moving right along. Speaking of Steam, Valve just gave Steam Wishlist and gifting major quality of life upgrade. From Digital Trends. Same story from Game Rant. New Steam update adds long requested features. Steam wishlists are getting categories, making it even easier to organize all those games you'll definitely buy next sell. Yep. Everybody's talking about it. I guess it's a big deal. I went to my Steam wish list, and I am a person who had a huge Steam wishlist at one point, and I think last year I went through it and just removed all of them. I just removed all of the games on my wish list because there weren't any games that I really wanted to buy. And if someone did accidentally gift me a game off my wish list that I wasn't really interested in anymore, I'd feel bad. So I totally redid my wish list, but it's slowly becoming large again. It's slowly getting too big. If you're a gamer and you use Steam, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's better than scrolling social media. You just sit there and scroll the Steam store and the For You and all that stuff. It's just so much better than looking at TikTok and Instagram. I just look at what's on sale, man. What's up? Yeah. So it's good news. I didn't have any problem with it. I wish I could still... Steam has like a stats page, but it only shows like the most top 100 games. So I wish it really that showed more. This article, a little comment from Steam, they're talking about, they were asked, hey, will there ever be any Steam machine exclusive games? And Steam is like, why? That's not what we do. Why? We're not a console. Also out, Unity 7 out. Unity 7 to launch in first quarter 2027. It says the new engine will still look a lot like Unity 6, but make it easier to evolve and update towards the Unity 7 version with a lot of AI integrations, it said. And it says you can disable it and turn it off for all the people and developers who use Unity. And I only care about Unity because there are so many games that I play, and Unity was a free tool at one time. Unity was a free engine you could download and use, depending on what degree you are, and then became a paid yearly thing. You had to pay a yearly subscription to developers, and then they were losing a lot of money. They went public. Their first CEO stepped down. And then they start saying, then they started telling game developers, well, we're not going to charge you a yearly subscription anymore. We're going to charge you for every copy of Unity sold. So every copy of your game you sell, we get a cut now. And the developers and the users who use Unity did not like that. Face Punch and Rust being one of them. And Gary Newman from Face Punch did issue an article that said, "Fuck Unity" was the title of the article. Good old Gary Newman. Yeah, Gary Newman, bro.
Bruh.
Gary Newman. Gary Newman, what's up, Gary? It's me. I'm a Gary Newman fan. So yeah, he's like, fuck Unity. And so they did adjust their new model to not affect small independent developers and put like, if you sell this many copies of the game, yeah, then we'll start charging. I can understand that, but hey, man, that's like selling something to somebody and then going back after the fact and saying, yeah, I need $100 more. Well, that's not what you originally charged me. That's not what we agreed upon. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I want my $100 now. It's fucking Indian gibberish. It's the same thing. Same thing. Another hot topic, discs, man. I got so many articles about discs this week, especially in lieu of PlayStation announcing that they are not going to do physical discs anymore. And so we're going to get through this really fast here. Sony's decision to kill off PlayStation discs could destroy the $7.2 billion used gaming market, according to analysts. God damn it. The global secondhand video game market is valued at $7.2 billion, but Sony's decision to kill PlayStation discs threatens to destroy it. Analysts say. Studies reveal how many years these discs can remain usable because they have a shelf life. They wear out. They have to be stored in certain conditions in certain ways to make them last longer. So if you have the original disc, Mortal Shell 2 sells out of physical edition on the PS5 for its pre-orders. Yeah, sold out. Physical copies sold out. This is in the wake of, because everybody's scared there's not going to be any more physical discs. Ubisoft boss doesn't believe PlayStation ditching physical disc will disturb the industry much. And here, another article about him saying it again, and here he is saying it again. Here's the guy from Sega. We still value the culture of physical media as PlayStation prepares for an all-digital future. Sega president comes out in support of discs, saying, hey, don't forget, one time we made hardware and consoles. We don't do that anymore. We're publishers now. And we won't stop making discs. We will continue to be putting discs out, says Sega. PlayStation may as well eliminate its hardware. That's right. They're catching a lot of flack. They're like, what are you doing, PlayStation? You still going to make PlayStations, but you're not going to sell discs to Planet? So you're just going to sell me a fucking computer? A gaming computer? You're basically going to sell me your version of a Steam machine? PlayStation may as well eliminate its hardware, a lot of people are saying, if they're going to end physical discs. Sony knew... Okay, and here's another part. In preparation for them... their announcement about not using discs anymore, they locked down, they put a lockdown, and this is from the voice actor from God of War, Luffy. That sounds like I'm talking about One Piece. From the new God of War game, the voice actors from the God of War game, she was talking about it, and some other people were talking about how they were giving, they couldn't talk. They were issued the strictest gag order and guidelines to not talk about this fact that they were ending discs because they knew there would be a lot of backlash. So in preparation for the announcement, they issued a gag order to everybody. Yeah. They knew everyone would be pissed off. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. So yeah, Sony is definitely killing game. No more physical discs. But I agree. If you're not gonna make physical discs, you expect people to still buy a PlayStation, and your sales of your PlayStation are gonna go down. And but you're gonna make console exclusives, but not sell physical media. That's a computer, bro. That's just a fucking computer. You might as well just have a platform. But then you just become a Steam or Epic. And you have to compete with them on that level. Looks like you should just stick to making discs, bro. Which alludes to this article over here about the guy from Sega saying, yeah, we're going to still make discs, but we're still having digital versions of this stuff too. There's still digital side of the industry. And we can still, and we're still adapting to that, and we have things in place that talk about, that to make adjustments for that they're doing, so they're not suffering the same problems as Sony, but Sony also makes a console. And this fear about it killing the used disc aftermarket, no. So a lot of these articles talked about destroy the used disc market, saying that people buy games, and a lot of times they bring in other games to trade that they don't play anymore. And because of Sony not making so many discs, that this is going to hurt the market. Well, if you look at there was this article that talks about how many discs Sony actually was selling. They weren't selling that many. Like one game last year sold 100,000 discs. Another one sold like 25,000 physical discs. The numbers are abysmal. They're like terrible. So you can see why they stopped doing it, because literally no one's buying brand new discs as much anymore. And I guess when you got a lot of your whole, your product line based upon that, yeah. So they're struggling. I don't know what they're going to do. This isn't looking good for Sony's gaming division. No more discs. But as far as the used disc industry, no. It's not going to hurt the industry. Sega's still making discs. You're still going to see people going in and trading and stuff. But the value of them is going to increase. Definitely the used aftermarket. You guys selling games can go ask more for them now. And because the people selling them are going to be selling for a lot more. So I don't think the market's going to die at all. This shit's going to get more expensive. Greed. You want to hear about Rockstar more? There's a quick article from Game Rant. My Mosin Bakary. It's officially time to start worrying about GTA 6 because they have announced their monetization model. Thanks to new released official documents, there seems to be more evidence suggesting that Take-Two and Rockstar Games might have a much more aggressive microtransaction plan for GTA 6 Online. So that's right, the online version never comes out until the single-player version has been out for an established amount of time. And the article is alluding to some of the recent changes to the major update in GTA 5 leaning towards microtransactions. So now you got to think about how old GTA 5 is. It's an old game. It came out before microtransactions was a popular thing to do. So I talked about it before. Here's what you can expect from GTA 6 Online. The role-playing community is being rolled into Rockstar. They're going to make money off selling role-play servers and making these role-play servers available. They're locking that down. It's not official. They haven't said it, but it's my prediction. The game will probably be $120 when it comes out. There will be created content within the game like Roblox has, and you're going to see a lot of microtransactions in an in-game store to the effect of people being able to buy assets and things to help them make their own versions of variants of GTA 6. Kind of like what people do with their mini-games in Minecraft, mini-games in Roblox, mini-games in GTA 6. That's exactly what they're doing. And this article just say, hey, GTA 6 is almost here. It's time to start worrying about these things that we've already talked about in the past. So yeah, man. Y'all excited? Nobody? No one wants to play GTA? There he is, that one guy. Yeah, you don't care that they fire people, do you? Okay, we got here Overwatch. Yep. The Overwatch Stadium mode is dead. I remember when Stadium mode came out, when I first played Overwatch. It sucked then, was not appealing, and I guess Blizzard finally got the fucking message because they're shutting it down. Later to a mode that nobody wanted, nobody asked for, nobody liked. Thank you for being another example of how out of touch with your fucking fan base you are. Blizzard calling time on Overwatch's hero customizing Stadium mode. And will I be the only person that's sad about it? Yeah, no one's sad about it. No one fucking cares. Moving right along. Obsidian Entertainment. Please stand by. Obsidian Entertainment, please stand by. So we have heard in one of my previous news show, we made a big deal about the announcement of Fallout 5. We also got all these updates to some other versions of Fallout that the game's doing. But what's this other game they're talking about? What's this other game they're alluding to? They're not saying it, but the hype and the speculation is it's going to be an open world. Kind of like how every time GTA comes out, there's an online version. There's going to be an online version. I expect there's going to be a Fallout 5 online version. However they do it, it's probably going to be a new marketing model, more in line with some of the stuff you heard me talk about just a while ago with GTA 6, how similar gamer-created content and mini games and stuff maybe an open world MMO RPG type of thing, maybe some survival sandbox aspects. There's no telling. There's a lot of speculation about what it's going to be, but we're pretty sure it's going to be an open world version of Fallout 5. And so I just wanted to get that in your ears. Moving right along. Let's talk about it, man. If you haven't heard about it, you've at least played it or know somebody who does. Mecha Chameleon ranks second behind Fortnite and PC revenue for June, according to Newzoo charts that I can't access no more. Indie hit outperformed Lethal Company and Fall Guys in sales, reaching over 15 million copies within a month. Yeah, man, congratulations. No, come on, guys. There you go. And over on Kick, they were really, the Kick Bounties program, they were really advertising and pushing more people to play it. I hate these type of games personally. This is not my kind of game. I don't like them. I would never play it. It's not appealing. And they came to my chat a couple times like, hey, go play this game and we'll blah, 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 we'll clip you. I'm like, you can fucking clip me right now saying how much I'm not going to play that stupid fucking game because it's just really not appealing to me. Now, it's more like a social co-op play with your friends type game. Not my speed, bro. Not my speed. So, congratulations. Hats off. Great job to the developers and reaping the awards. Congratulations. It's been a great year for indie developers and a lot of small-time solo developers making some money. So, that's good to see. It's good to see, even if I don't like the game or the type of game, it's good to see that these indies and these solo developers are etching out their piece in this industry, showing these AAA companies that your way of doing things is done. Your way of spending 5 years and $10 million on a game is unnecessary and not required. It's not necessary. Moving right along. Wow, cheaters. Oh, man. Did you guys hear this one? Did you guys hear this one?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Blizzard intervenes in World of Warcraft cheater scandal. Employee accused of insta-killing an enemy to help a Twitch streamer's mythic team. What? This from Games Radar. 2 different articles about it on Games Radar. Game Rant, Rock, Paper, Shotgun. Blizzard fire World of Warcraft. No, it's not a developer. He's a game master. He's just like an admin, customer service support. He's not a developer, Rock, Paper, Shotgun. World of Warcraft player got developer. Blizzard fires World of Warcraft dev. He wasn't a developer. He was a game master. He was a GM. Customer service guy. All right? And apparently, he had an established relationship with this particular Twitch streamer who was live. And I'm not going to give the guy any name, but the clips of the insta-kills during the live stream went viral. And it made its way back to Blizzard. And this guy got fired. Yeah, this guy used his admin abilities to insta-kill 2 bosses with like 26 million HP or some shit. And some of the comments were like, oh, so it really does happen. We wondered. It really does happen. And Blizzard's trying to say, listen, guys, this is just a one-off. this doesn't really happen that much. I mean, no, this really doesn't happen. This isn't a common thing. This never happens. This is a one-off thing. But everybody else said, yeah, too late. The cat's out of the bag, you know. And maybe who knows what the relationship really was between the game manager and the streamer. Who knows? Oops, that's Mecha Chameleon. Who knows? But apparently, they did know each other. They were familiar with each other, because when you look at clips of the video, they are being real familiar. And it was really, literally, it went down like this. Yo, bro, man, come on, insta-kill this for me. It's got 20 million, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. And the guy did it. Why would you risk your job doing that? Maybe he's just getting paid $15 an hour because Blizzard employees, like in their customer service department and their game managers, are notorious for making $15 an hour out there in California. I don't know if that's true anymore, but you know, a few years ago, when Bobby Kotick was still in charge, yeah, he caught a lot of shit for union busting tactics back when they were trying to form a union and it was making progress. Which, if you follow with that news, the union progress came to a halt with the purchase by Microsoft. All right, so yeah, we've always wondered, but yeah, it really happened. A game master, an employee, really insta-killed a boss. Wow. All right. Well, I got some other topics to talk about, but I don't think I'm going to talk about them. News show. I got some AI stuff to talk about. I guess we could go over them real quick. Persona and Shin Megami Tensei artist isn't using generative AI in his next game. Yeah, this guy made a game. He's an artist. He's a real artist, but apparently he tried to use AI tools, and he fed a lot of his drawings and art for a previous game to AI, and it came out not looking good, and obvious AI, and he got a lot of shit for it. And he's like, my next game is all hand-drawn. I'm not doing any more, so congratulations. Steam's required AI disclosure is the right move, devs say. You know, Steam has a generative AI disclosure that you have to include now, and people are saying, man, that's going to really hurt the market. And if it's a good game and your usage of AI and it doesn't look like slop, it will still be received well. I don't mind if there's AI assets or anything in the game, just as long as it's not obviously AI slop. And also on AI news, a Florida pastor asked ChatGPT if he was okay, and it nearly killed him. Yeah, this guy had like a condition, and he had like ChatGPT Premium and was really relying on ChatGPT a lot. And for weeks, Pastor Winters turned to ChatGPT with questions about recurring dizzy spells and unstable blood pressure. Instead of pointing him towards a doctor, the bot reassured him his symptoms weren't serious enough to worry about and told him his careful recliner-based micro-recovery was working just fine. Yeah, the dude finally went to the hospital. They're like, you almost died. So yeah, lawsuit, motherfucker. Yeah. Dangerous. AI is dangerous, bro. I don't think you should be allowed to ask it that type of stuff. Right along the AI news is social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram this week have had updates. New YouTube guidelines are looking to end AI slop and clickbait traps. And just anything that's basically just a cookie cutter template. All the things that are made by these production warehouses that are just putting out a lot of content, all the apparent cookie cutter template type shit, no more. No more. Anything that's CGI, AI, any talking head that's obviously a AI, no more. Especially if it gives advice, like on money advice, health advice, or any type of advice, gone. Doing away with. And similarly, over on Instagram, is finally going after Ray-Ban meta-wearing creeps. So, This is about a camera. And it specifically is talking about pickup artists who put the cameras and glasses on and go try and pick up chicks. And then they make content about it. Not Ray-Ban's fault. It's not Meta's fault. But apparently it's some really bottom feeder type of antics. And they're trying to say, well, people don't like knowing they're being recorded in public. I'm like, well, wait a minute. There are surveillance cameras all over the world. Every business, civilized, populated area has surveillance. We have so many IRL live streamers walking around in life and in public recording everything. Why aren't you saying anything about that, Instagram? Why doesn't that bother you? Why the fuck are you worried about... Now, I can understand specifically what these creeps are doing with it. These pickup artists is pretty fucking scummy, but it's not the camera's fault. You might as well just ban cameras. Oh, wait a minute. Your Instagram. You rely upon cameras. Doesn't make any fucking sense, Instagram. You're barking up the wrong tree. It's my opinion. My opinion. And we'll go ahead and do these last three articles. Last three articles from GameIndustry.biz. Games for Change report aims to ground parental gaming concerns in evidence rather than fear. So this was a study financed by Tencent, basically to help promote video games and these reasons why, what video games are actually good for, and another endeavor and effort to get rid of this dark cloud kind of hanging over video games that it's bad for kids. You know, and if you're a gamer, you already know what video gaming is, and you already know that everybody who says it's bad for children is full of fucking shit. And so this study and this research and this movement is going to show that it's really not, and is funded by Tencent, like this article, funded by Tencent. Let me point that out there. Moving right along in the good vibes section. ESA Foundation awards 31 university students scholarships to support careers in gaming and esports. So you either got $10,000 if you want to be a developer, or you got $5,000 if you're going into esports. Congratulations, man. We like doing stuff like that. The Video Game History Foundation's latest collection is a deep dive into E3 like you've never seen before. So if anybody follows gaming conventions and stuff like that, we know that the Electronics Art Expo, also known as E3, shut down a couple years ago. Well, it's not forgotten. It's not forgotten. A lot of people who were responsible for the show and keeping it going will be now live forever. The Video Game History Foundation have revealed a new collection all about the E3 event, and they've got stuff from contributors, past memorabilia and marketing pieces and stuff. Over the past year, we received some exciting donations from the people who ran and attended E3, going all the way back to its first year in 1995, explaining the VGHF in a blog post announced the collection. We're excited to preserve this important history and to make it available for everybody. So yeah, good vibes. We're going to wrap the news segment up on that note as we wrap up the news show. That's it. If you were actually watching or lurking, I said watching and lurking, it was going to sound like working, because I like to say working and lurking. If you're actually watching or lurking, you're actually paying attention, I appreciate it. Any amount of your time you spend watching my news show at all really means a lot to me, because I know your time is the most valuable asset you have. So if you did actually spend any of it here, I appreciate it. And like I said, we do the live news show every week, every Saturday. Sometime during the day, Saturday, I'm going to do the show. And if you missed the show, you'll be able to catch the video. And that's it for the news show this week. Wrapping it up.